You're all set.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday, October 11th meeting of the Zoning Hearing Board for the City of Reading in the year 2023. I'm going to introduce the members of the board, and then we'll proceed to issuing the decisions from last month's meeting. Charlie?
Charlie Jones, alternate member of the board.
Jared?
Jared Bartz, member of the board.
Tom?
Tom Fox, member of the board.
Jeff?
Jeff Catone, member of the board.
Bill?
Bill Hurst, member of the board.
I'm Phil Rubina, member of the board. Steve?
Steve Price, solicitor to the board.
Emily?
Emily Diaz-Malika, zoning officer.
Thank you. All right, the decisions from last month's meeting are as follows. The first was Appeal 2023-23, 241 South 5th Street. Mr. Price.
Yep. Is there a motion to approve the relief requested subject to the conditions set forth in the written decision?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a question or comment on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. The next was 2023-24, 226 North 6th Street. Mr. Price.
Is there a motion to approve the relief requested subject to the conditions set forth in the written decision?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, the next was 2023-25, 901 Center Avenue.
Yes, this was the hearing where the zoning administrator testified after the video was shown that there would have been no relief needed to be requested if that evidence had been put forth prior to last month's hearing. So is there a motion to approve the continuation of a non-conforming apartment use in the garage?
I'll make the motion.
Is there
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the next matter was 2023-26, which was 500 Buckman Avenue, AKA 2021 Fairmont Avenue. Mr. Price.
Is there a motion to approve the relief requested subject to the conditions set forth in the written decision?
So moved.
The motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. And then 2023-28, 601 North 3rd Street. Mr. Price.
Is there a motion to approve the relief requested subject to the conditions set forth in the written decision?
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. Our cases for this month, starting with Appeal 2023-16, is 1238 Locust Street. Charles Martin is appealing the notice of violation sent April the 6th, 2023 for the unpermitted airbub business. The owner is requesting to continue operating the airbub business while the property is being renovated. The property is located in the R3 residential zoning district, and the owner of record is Charles and Abigail Martin.
So this is a continuation of a prior hearing, so all the exhibits have been entered into the record. I guess the question I have for our zoning administrator is, are they just asking for more time to get the renovations completed with respect, and also get their funding? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so what it is that they, as previously testified, they need to be operating their business for a certain period of time prior to being able to secure the funding. And so their appeal was just to allow them to continue until they secured the funding, at which point they will need to submit another appeal because their proposal has changed.
Correct. So they increased it by 1 unit.
Yes.
All right, so, sir, when do you believe that because you've already been under oath, when do you believe that your funding is gonna be secured?
I heard from the bank on Monday that they are getting a appraisal. They're putting out bids for appraisal. So that's the second to last step, I believe. My best guess would be within another month or so, I should be able to get the final decision, but this has been a slower moving process than I had anticipated from the beginning.
So if this was continued to January and then you would amend your application because you're adding an extra unit, would that be agreeable to you?
I think that should be plenty of time. Yes.
So Mr. Rabina and board members, what we would do is just continue this hearing till January. They would have to amend it and put some additional testimony in with respect to parking and the additional unit, but hopefully the funding would be secured by then.
I would make a motion to that effect, that we allow him to continue until January. And I think maybe perhaps if you could get in touch with the bank and keep our zoning officer informed as to how that process is going, because I know working with banks can be a really slow process. So, but I think we need to be kept informed. So if I would have a second to my motion. Did you want to say something, Emily?
Oh, I was just going to say that he has been keeping us updated with monthly updates on where he's at with the bank. So he has been providing us that.
Okay, thank you very much, and we appreciate that he has done that. So I'll make a motion to extend this until the January meeting, and you continue to keep the zoning office informed. Do I have a second?
Second,
Yeah, there's a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're more
Have a
than
good night.
welcome. Okay, the next matter before us is the appeal 2023-29, 125 Morgantown Road. Jose Lugo is seeking a variance to establish a lounge use to the existing restaurant retail tobacco shop. The subject property is located in the MC Manufacturing Commercial Zoning District, and the owner of record is Wise Choice Properties, LLC. Would you swear in our zoning officer, please?
Do you swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Phil. Is this a case that needs the interpreter?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like me to interpret what you said earlier, Phil, or can you just proceed?
Yeah, we have to swear you in. We'll swear you in first, then you interpret.
Sure.
Do you swear to interpret truthfully and accurately to the best of your ability tonight?
I do. Ken Olivo, certified Spanish court interpreter, and I'm gonna go ahead and interpret what Phil said earlier. Esto es una apelación, la apelación número 2023-29 para el 125 de la calle Morgantown Road. José Lugo estaba pidiendo que se haga una variación a lo establecido con un lugar en el restaurante existente para donde se puede vender tabaco. La propiedad sujeto a esta está en la zona del distrito comercial para fabricantes M-C y el dueño en las actas es Wise Choice Properties. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay, Mr. Price.
Thanks. I'll put some exhibits into the record. Exhibit number 1 is the notice. Exhibit number 2 is proof of publication of the notice. Exhibit number 3 is proof of posting of the notice. Exhibit number 4 is the application, all its attachments. And exhibit number 5 is the zoning ordinance of the city of Reading as amended.
Okay, thank you. Are you going to interpret that for?
Sure.
today?
Yep.
Okay.
Ya, vamos a poner algunas de las pruebas materiales en las actas. El número 1 es el aviso, el número 2 es la prueba de publicación, el número 3 es la prueba de que sí se hizo la publicación, la prueba de publicación, el número 4 es la aplicación, el número 5 es un archivo de la ordenanza de zonificación de la ciudad de Reading.
Okay, thank you. Is Mr. Lugo represented by counsel? Does he have an attorney?
El señor Lugo está representado por un abogado. ¿Él tiene algún abogado?
No.
Okay.
No.
Ask him to tell us briefly what he wants to do and why he wants to expand his business. And then
Right,
you,
will you please raise your right hand?
yes, okay.
Levante su mano derecha, señor Lugo.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Usted jura que lo que va a declarar ahora será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Before we go any further, though, Mr. Lugo does not own the property. Does he have a letter or an affidavit from the property owner authorizing him to request this zoning change?
He has,
Señor Lugo,
he filled out the owner authorization form.
He filled out the what?
He has submitted an owner authorization form signed by the owner authorizing him to make this appeal.
Okay.
señor Lugo, solamente estaban averiguando si usted tenía permiso del dueño de esta propiedad, ya que usted no está listado como el dueño de la propiedad. Y la oficial de zonificación, Emily, le indicó aquí al comité que usted sí había entregado un formulario indicando que el dueño de la propiedad le dio permiso.
Okay.
Phil, you have some question for him, Phil?
Ask him to tell us briefly what he wants to do and why he wants to do this. Why he wants to expand his business and what he's going to do.
Señor, díganos qué es lo que realmente quiere hacer y por qué quiere hacer esto, por qué quiere expandir el negocio que ya tiene.
Lo que quiero es que me permitan que los clientes traigan su propia bebida.
What I would like to do is to be allowed so that the clients can bring their own drink.
Okay. I believe, Emily, that means that would come under the Bottle Club ordinance, would it not?
Yes, so I had forwarded you a staff report for last month's hearing. Basically, they call it a lounge. However, it falls under the definition of a bottle club. So the variance request is for to permit the use of a bottle club, which is not typically permitted in the MC zoning district.
Yo creo, Emily, que eso te requiere que o que eso cae bajo las ordenanzas de un club de bebidas o botellas. Ellos habían presentado una petición para un lounge, pero cae bajo las peticiones o ordenanzas para un club de bebidas.
So let me ask Mr. Lugo a question. That's been a hookah lounge for how many years?
Señor Lugo, una pregunta. ¿Eso ha sido un lugar para juca de cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuántos años?
Eso aproximadamente lleva ahí como 14 años, pero yo soy propietario hace un año.
That's been there approximately for 14 years, but I've been the owner for about a year.
Okay, that's the only question I have.
Okay. That's a pretty small building site over there. What parking arrangements are you going to be able to do if you expand your business?
Si expande su negocio, como es un lugar que hay poco estacionamiento, ¿qué clase de arreglos para estacionamiento usted cree que va a hacer para expandir el negocio?
Yo puedo usar los estacionamientos de los otros negocios cuando ellos no estén funcionando. So,
When the other businesses are not operating, I can use the other businesses' parking spaces.
Okay, thank you. How about other board members? Do any other board members have any questions at this time? I have one at the end. Mr. Fox?
Yes, does he know how many people he can have in his restaurant at one time?
¿Sabes cuántas personas pueden estar en tu restaurante a la misma vez? Señor Lugo.
sí, 49 personas.
49 people.
All right. Thank you.
Gracias.
All right. Anybody else have any questions of this applicant? Just questions, not whether you like it or you don't like it. Any other board members?
¿Algún otra persona tiene preguntas para este solicitante? Solamente preguntas, no es que si te gusta o no te gusta, solamente preguntas.
Okay. Emily, any questions?
No, but we, just so you're aware, we do have Fire Marshal, on the call, for testimony if you would like it.
Okay, we'll get to that in
No
a
tengo
minute.
preguntas, pero tenemos a un jefe de los bomberos en caso de que él, si usted quiere que él dé testimonio o declaración.
Mr. Price, any questions?
I have none.
Okay, if you have that information from the fire marshal, is he online here that we swear him in, or is that just written testimony?
No, he's on the call right now.
Okay, would we swear him in, please?
Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state your full name and spell it.
Kirk Litzenberger, K-I-R-K. And my last name is Litzbenberger.
Thank you.
Vamos a juramentarlo, fue juramentado, su nombre completo, Kirk Litzenberger.
Okay, what information do you have for us, sir?
We were requested by the Reading Police Department to come out and take a look at occupant load while the business was in operation because of frequent complaints of a large amount of vehicles and crowds outside the structure. The night we got...
One moment, sir. Please allow the interpreter sometime. La policía nos pidió que fuéramos allá debido a querellas de mucha cantidad de personas y vehículos mientras aún fuera del estacionamiento del establecimiento, aún cuando el establecimiento está operando.
The occupant load was well over 49 when we arrived. They continued to have people walk in after they were told that they were above their occupant load. And that night, we also evacuated the entire structure because they had a high carbon monoxide level in the building.
Okay. Cuando fuimos a inspeccionar, ellos tenían mucho más de la capacidad de 49 y aún cuando se le avisó, había personas que seguían entrando, a pesar de que se le avisó de que estaban por encima de la capacidad. También tuvimos que desalojar el lugar porque había una cantidad de óxido de carbono en el lugar.
Does Mr. Lugo have any response to that?
Señor Lugo, ¿tiene usted una respuesta a eso?
El El número se excedió porque yo no tenía conocimiento que en ese número estaban incluidos los empleados.
The amount of people, the number exceeded because I did not have the knowledge that that number included the employees.
Okay. Ask Mr. Lugo if he's had any issues that the police needed to come there, or if he's had any issues with any of the neighbors.
¿Usted ha tenido alguna dificultad que la policía ha tenido que venir o usted ha tenido alguna dificultad con los vecinos?
He tenido ninguna dificultad y ni tampoco existe ningún reporte de la policía sobre algún problema que haya pasado ahí.
I haven't had any issues, and there isn't any police report of anything has happened there.
Okay, thank you. All right. Does anybody in the audience have any questions of this applicant? Just question.
¿Alguien en la audiencia tiene alguna pregunta para ese solicitante? Solamente preguntas.
All right, seeing none. Anybody
Viendo
in,
ninguna.
anybody in the audience want to testify for granting the appeal?
¿Alguien en la audiencia quiere testificar para que se apruebe esta apelación?
Anyone wish to testify against granting the appeal?
¿Alguien desea testificar o declarar en contra de que se apruebe esta apelación?
Okay, Mr. Lugo or anybody on the board, any of you have any other comments you would like to make or questions?
Señor Lugo o alguien más en el comité tiene alguna pregunta o algún comentario que quieren hacer.
Mr. Chairman, I will admit two emails from the Reading Police Department as evidence into this record as well. And they are dated Sunday, April 30th, 2023, 8:38 p.m. from Sergeant Victor Morrison with respect to this property. And I'll represent that there's another one dated March 6, 2023, 12:29 a.m. from Sergeant Victor Morrison.
Entonces, Phil, yo quiero que se haga parte de las actas dos correos electrónicos que indican que vinieron de la policía de Reading en cuanto a incidentes o con la fecha de el domingo 30 de abril a las 8:38 de la noche del oficial Victor Morrison, y también marzo 6, 2023 a las 12:29 de la madrugada del mismo oficial Morrison.
Okay. Thank you. And we'll issue decision at next month's meeting. You need not be here.
Okay, vamos a emitir una decisión en la reunión del mes que viene. Usted no tiene que venir si no quiere.
And we thank all of you for your attendance and input in the meeting tonight. That closes the appeal.
Le damos gracias a todos por su asistencia y sus comentarios en la reunión esta noche.
Okay. The next appeal is 2023-31, 242 Warren Street. Maria Castro Ruiz is seeking a special exception to establish a daycare center. The subject property is located in the CH Commercial Highway Zoning District, and the owner of record is TD Management LLC. Would you swear in our zoning officer, please?
You swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
Has
you.
notice for this appeal been given?
Yes.
Okay.
Phil,
Mr.
I just
Price.
want to know, do you need an interpreter for this one? Because I do see a Spanish name there.
Yeah, this is Joan. Yes, we will probably need your services. We're going to attempt to conduct the hearing in English, but she would be more comfortable, Ms. Castro would be more comfortable having Spanish interpreter available.
All right.
For the testimony, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I will stand by until you guys tell me that you need me.
Okay. Why don't we swear him in again for this?
Sure. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to interpret truthfully and accurately to the best of your ability tonight?
I do, Ken Olivo.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Price.
So I'll put some exhibits into the record and then I think Ms. London probably has an offer of proof. and then
Right.
Go from there. Exhibit number 1 is the notice. Exhibit number 2 is proof of publication of the notice. Exhibit number 3 is proof of posting of the notice. Exhibit number 4 is the application, including all of its attachments. And exhibit number 5 is the zoning ordinance of the city of Reading as amended. And Ms. London, if you want to enter your appearance, and we'll go from there.
And whoever you're going to have testify will swear them in so we can just keep it going.
All right, I'll ask Maria Castro, George Diaz, and Mark Christman. I'll be calling them as witnesses.
Okay.
María Castro, usted va a tener que levantar su mano derecha para que la juramenten. Se va a llamar como testigo.
All right, we all please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Ustedes todos juran que van a decir la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad en la declaración que van a presentar.
You have
¿Sí
to
o no?
respond.
This is Mark Christman. I do.
Please say
I
it in.
do. This is George Diaz. I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark, if you could turn on your camera.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
María tiene que responder, va a decir la verdad.
Yes.
Maria responded yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'll enter my appearance.
All right, my camera's on now.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Okay, I'll enter my appearance. Joan, middle initial E, London, London, Kozloff Stout, 2640 Westview Drive, Wyomissing, for Maria Castro Ruiz applicant.
All right. You
Okay.
admit- And then why don't you give us an offer of proof, Ms. London?
I will. Ms. Castro is a daycare provider with training from DHS in childcare and is in the process of getting a degree or certification in childcare from Reading Area Community College. She's seeking to open a state licensed daycare center at 242 Warren Street. She'll be leasing space from TD Management LLC. Mr. Diaz, managing member, is here on this call as well. The daycare center she'll testify is called Happy Village Child Care Center. Hours of operation will be approximately 5:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. so as to accommodate different shifts. It will also offer after school care. There will be a van offered as well for after school care for drop off and pickup. There are 18 parking spaces off street. Additionally, there is a secure drop off and pickup area to which Mr. Christman will testify. There will be safety precautions in place, including the rules that parents or caregivers will pick up and drop off the child. They will not be walking through the parking lot at any time. The number of employees will depend on the number of children, but there is a tremendous demand right now for daycare. There will be approximately 47 slots and 22 are already filled. Mr. Diaz has consented to the application. He had received a special exception approval for this building to be divided into two units. This is one of the units. There is right now a vehicle tinting business that is already going to be going in there. However, it will not interfere with the business. Ms. Castro, did you hear and understand my testimony? Or did you hear and understand the offer of proof?
Yes, yeah, I understand.
And if I had asked you questions about these things, would you have testified similarly?
I need
Need interpreter.
Si yo le hubiera preguntado a usted que le declarado, ¿usted hubiera declarado información similar a la que yo acabo de presentar?
Sí.
Yes.
A couple of follow-up questions.
What would the hours of operation be?
What will the hours of operation be? Can you confirm?
¿Puede confirmarnos cuáles van a ser las horas de laborales?
5:30 de la mañana a 11:30 de la noche.
5:30 in the morning to 11:30 p.m.
Is this to accommodate different shifts?
Y eso para que pueda acomodar diferentes horas de jornada.
Sí, 2 turnos. Sí.
Yes, 2
Days a week?
shifts.
7 days a week?
7 días a la semana.
5 días, lunes a viernes.
5 days, Monday through Friday.
Okay. Is this in the same building as the tinting business or not?
Yes. Is it, Maria, can you confirm it being the same as the tinning business?
So there'll be, yeah, just let me ask this. If it's in the same building as the tinting business, you're gonna have security cameras and secure lockouts so that employees from the tinting business can't get into the daycare?
Si va a ser en el mismo edificio que el negocio de ahumar las ventanas de los carros, usted va a tener alguna clase de cámara de vigilancia y también alguna clase de sistema donde las puertas quedan aseguradas para que los empleados del negocio de carros, de ventana de carros, no entren al negocio de la guardería de niños.
Correcto. Voy a tener cámaras y puertas de seguridad.
Correct. I will have cameras and security doors.
And what about outdoor recreation for the children? What are her plans for outdoor recreation?
¿Qué hay de recreo exterior, afuera para los niños? ¿Cuáles son los arreglos que usted tiene para eso?
Sí, voy a tener una área cercada afuera, para el playground y va a estar cercada, asegurada para los niños.
Yeah, there's going to be an exterior area that will be fenced in so that for the children.
And they're within walking distance of a Stone Cliff recreation area, correct?
Y eso es a distancia de caminar de Stone Cliff Recreation Area, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, I have a question. One of the issues is that we don't have the dimensions for the planned play area. Either Ms. Castro or Mr. Crispin, if they could answer that, so we would know exactly how big that fenced-in play area is.
Una de las cosas que no tenemos es las dimensiones, el tamaño del área de juego para los niños que va a estar verjada o que va a tener asegurada para los niños. ¿No puede dar las dimensiones, señor, usted, señora Castro, o el otro señor?
Why don't I do this? Why don't I have Mr. Crispin testify as to this? Because we have the plans here, and I can have him testify as to dimensions and as to the features and security.
And that's fine.
Vamos a dejar que el otro señor declare en cuanto a esto, porque tengo los planes aquí, incluyendo la información del tamaño y las dimensiones. Está bien.
Okay. Mr. Crispin, how big is that play area? Do you have the
I do not have the plans in front of me. I'm traveling. Is there somebody able to share the plans to the screen from zoning?
Right, it was on the application. So if you could go to the third page, and the fifth and the last page of the plans. Let's go to the third page first, because that shows the fenced outdoor play area.
So the problem is that those plans do not have the dimensions.
Yeah, we know it's there. We just need to know the size. And if you don't have it now, if you can get it to the zoning office, we would appreciate that.
We will do that.
That's absolutely no problem at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take care of that. What we can tell you is it's being built within the specifications required for state licensure of the play areas and the indoor areas.
Correct.
Okay.
We meet the required square footage for the children.
All right, thank you.
One
Does
question,
any other board member have any questions of the applicant or Mr. Chrisman? I can't see any of your hands if you've raised them, so you'll have to call out.
¿Alguno de los otros miembros tiene alguna pregunta o algo más para el señor Chrisman?
All right. Emily, do you have any questions?
I do. So as of right now, how many children do you plan on taking care of?
I believe that also is right on the plans.
right,
It has the capacity for each room, but it doesn't state specifically how many children she will be caring for.
It doesn't have the occupant load on it?
That's different from how many she's going to actually be taking care of.
No, it's not, because the state requires so many square foot per child. So what we do is we take the square footage, and that tells how many children we're allowed to have. So that would be the maximum number she would have.
Ms. Castro, as of now, what are your plans for the number of students or children and the number of employees?
Señora Castro, ahora mismo, ¿cuáles son sus planes para la cantidad de empleados que va a tener y la cantidad de niños?
La cantidad de niños, más o menos, son 47 por turno. De empleados,
47 niños.
47 niños.
Ok. ¿Y empleados?
Empleados voy a empezar por 5 a 6 empleados.
Okay. For children is about 47 per shift. And as far as employees, it'll be 5 to 6 employees.
And Mr. Chrisman, could you confirm the number of parking spaces?
I believe it's 18 parking spaces, if memory serves. Again, I don't have the plans in front of me, but it should be right on the plans.
Are those 18 standard and 2 ADA accessible spaces?
That is correct, yes.
All right.
Okay. That'll be fine. So it's on the record. For 47 children and 6 employees, there'll need to be a minimum of 7 parking spaces for that. It is a shared parking lot with that tinting business. So far, that tinting business, I believe, needs 5 or 6 parking spaces. So we just want to be cognizant of if those numbers increase, with what's already being provided on site.
All right, but
Well, I can tell you, Ms. Castro, that the state's very strict about the 35 square feet per child rule when they give the licensing out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's all the questions I had.
Okay, Mr. Price, any questions?
No, none, sir.
Any member of the board, any questions?
No.
Anybody in the audience, any question? Seeing none.
¿Alguien en la audiencia tiene alguna pregunta? No veo ninguna.
Anybody in the audience want to testify for granting the application?
¿Alguien en la audiencia quiere declarar a favor de que se apruebe la petición, la aplicación?
Anybody wish to testify against granting the application?
¿Alguien desea testificar en contra de que se apruebe la aplicación?
Seeing no hands in either case, that'll conclude this appeal. Unless you have anything else to add, Ms. London.
I have nothing to add. I mean, Mr. Diaz is here to answer any questions that anyone has about the property and the vehicle tinting business. But it doesn't appear that there are any.
Okay. I don't think anybody really has any questions. All right. Well, we thank you. We'll close this appeal. We'll issue a decision at next month's meeting. You need not be here. And we thank all of you for your participation.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And the last matter, will we need an interpreter for this, Ms. London?
No, we won't.
Okay, so, sir, we thank you for your help tonight. And Sure we'll see you again.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
The next appeal is 2023-32. It's 407 Rosenthal Street. 407 Rosenthal Street LLC, Irvin Altamont, member, is seeking an appeal for the determination of the zoning office dated August 29th, 23, and seeks variances in the alternate for maximum impervious coverage to allow the curb cut on Division Street to remain in place. The subject property is located in the R3 residential zoning district. Would you swear in our zoning officer, please?
Do you swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
Has
you.
notice for this appeal been given?
Has.
Okay, Mr. Price.
Yes, I'll put some exhibits into the record. Exhibit number 1 is the notice. Exhibit number 2 is proof of publication of the notice. Exhibit number 3 is proof of posting of the notice. Exhibit number 4 is the application, including all of its attachments. And exhibit number 5 is the zoning ordinance of the city of Reading as amended.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Ms. London, you want to enter your appearance, and anybody that you're going to have testify will swear in, and you can do an offer of proof if you wish.
I'll enter my appearance for Irvin Almonte and 407 Rosenthal Street LLC, Joan middle initial E, London, London, Kozloff Stout, 2640 Westview Drive, Wyomissing, 19610. My only witness is Mr. Almonte.
Okay. Do we want to swear him in?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. London.
All right. Just to give a brief introduction on this, Mr. Almonte is the owner through 407 Rosenthal Street LLC. Recently had a dangerous tree removed from the rear of the property, which faces Division Street. The front of the house faces Rosenthal Street. Filled in the area where the tree was with a cement parking area and a curb cut to Division Street, like many houses on that same block. And then learned that he needed a zoning permit to do so. This is one of the rare cases where I'm coming to you asking permission for a parking space as opposed to a variance for parking space. So I'm hoping you find that refreshing. I'd just like to ask Mr. Almonte a few questions regarding this.
Go ahead.
All right. First of all, were you on this call listening to the offer of proof, Mr. Almonte?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where did you listen to the remarks that I made a few moments ago?
Yes, I
And
did.
if you had been asked questions regarding these same areas, would you have answered the same way?
Yes.
Okay. Emily, I'd like you to put up on the screen an aerial photo, and I'd like that I sent earlier today. I'd like it considered as applicant exhibit 1. Okay, Mr. Almonte, looking at that area outlined in red, is that does that show your property from an aerial photo?
Yes, it does.
And I'll represent to the board that this was from the Berks County parcel search site. It is on the site dated as 2020. Looking at the side of the property by Division Street, does there appear to be a large tree in back of the property?
Yes.
And is that the tree to which I was referring in my offer of proof?
Yes.
Was that tree there when you purchased the property?
Correct. Yes.
And did you have that tree taken down?
Correct. They did.
And why was that done?
It was taken down because it was dangerous leaning towards the power lines right there. So
Okay,
it
the
was
power lines
really
to
bad
park.
shape.
And,
Correct.
and after the tree was removed, is that when you paved the approximately 9 by 18 area in cement and put in the curb cut?
Yes.
And prior to that paving, did 407 Rosenthal Street have any off-street parking?
No.
Did you know that a permit was needed for paving and a curb cut?
No.
And how were you alerted to it?
Through notice I received in the mail.
And on March 29th, 2023, did you apply for the zoning permit to install the paved parking area with a curb cut in the rear of the property?
Yes.
Did you have a drawing with the application showing the dimensions of the first floor of the house, the paved area, and some garden area?
Yes.
And on April 18th, did you revise that drawing and resubmit it to the city?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Emily, can you share the screen with that revised drawing dated April 18th? It was with the application.
One moment.
All right, yes, that's it. What, Mr. Romani, was this the drawing that you submitted in April?
Yes.
And what does this show?
It shows the curb cut right there. It shows also the house, the front of the house, the back of the house, the whole drawing of the parking area, and a garden area as well that would be added.
Okay, and why did you revise the drawing from the initial drawing that you submitted?
To add more, to add the garden area, more green. Add the
Okay.
garden area basically.
All right, now, according to the review letter, the revision reduced the impervious area from 86% to 83% to reduce the nonconformity. Does this property have any other off-street parking?
No.
Is this house occupied?
Yes.
And where do household residents park?
On the street.
Are there any alternatives, such as a public or private parking lot, available within a reasonable distance?
No.
If allowed, would there be any safety hazard or other negative impacts created by this parking space and driveway cut?
No.
And why not?
Because it's at the back side on Division Street, and Division Street is not highly trafficked.
If the curb cut were allowed, would you agree as a condition of the approval that be inspected and approved by City Public Works?
Yes.
What is the approximate width of the curb cut?
It's about 8 to 9 feet, I would say.
Will there be any change to the character of the neighborhood if this driveway is allowed?
No.
And why not?
Because there are other streets down the block that also have parking at the back of their house as well.
And will there be any positive impacts?
Yes.
And what will those be?
It will free up parking space for other residents. So it would make an off-street parking, one more parking space for other people in the area.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
I have one question to the applicant. Have any of your neighbors expressed any concerns about this new parking space, off-street parking space?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And do most people who park on Rosenthal, or do they park on Division?
Most people park on Rosenthal.
So by having a curb cut on Division, you really haven't taken away a parking space, you've just made an off-street parking space.
There are people that park at the back as well, but most people that go will go through the front because the entrance of the house is at the front.
Right, and so most people park on Rosenthal and not Division. And you don't believe that that's gonna diminish on-street parking because of that creation, correct?
Not at all.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, any board members have any question? Any board members question? All right, seeing none. Emily, do you have any other question?
I don't have questions, but I have a few comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In regards to whether it's being there's traffic along Division Street, Rosenthal is one way going northwestish. The only way out is through Division. So any traffic that travels along Rosenthal is traveling along Division to go back out onto Buttonwood. Also, there's on-street, this is all along Division is supposed to be public on-street parking. Because of the parking issue in the city, Public Works has an internal policy where they will not approve a curb cut along a street where there is not going to be a net gain. So even though, you know, maybe right now, a lot of people may or may not be parking along here, the fact that only one parking space is being proposed at the subject property, Public Works will not approve taking away a public on-street parking to allow for one private parking. So just as a warning, because this happened at 427, I believe, Rosenthal, where the board did approve an increase to permit the increase in impervious coverage. However, Public Works did not approve their permit. Therefore, zoning could not approve their permit.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all. Those are going to be my only. Also, this wasn't previously approved, so it's not considered a nonconformity.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody in the audience have any questions of the applicant? Seeing none. Anybody want to testify for granting the application? Seeing none. Anybody want to testify against granting the application? Seeing none. Ms. London, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll close this appeal. We'll issue a decision at next month's meeting. We thank all of you for your participation, and we will see you next month. Actually, we will see you on the 25th because we'll have a special meeting for 1400 Hill Road, which is Central Catholic and which was once the historic Loudon Mansion. So that should be an interesting hearing. So thanks all of you.
And then, Mr. Chairman, I will have my secretary get a hold of every member to have an executive session as we normally do.
Okay, we thank you, sir, and we look forward to that.
Appropriate eggs and scrapple.
Okay. All right.
That's a nice way to meet.
So to all of you, have a good rest of the month and a happy Halloween in case you celebrate that. So anyway, take care.
Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
We'll see you
Good
guys
night.
on the 25th or next month. So take care. Good night.
Take care.
Good night, everybody.